Hey guys, how you doing? So today is November 1st, 2016, which is World Vegan Day. So I figured to commemorate World Vegan Day, I would explain why I chose to become vegan and what events led me to that path, to that journey. In 2009, 2010, I had a medical situation where I had multiple herniated bulging discs in my spine and pinched nerves throughout my spine as well. So what it was causing is I couldn't walk without sharp shooting nerve pains or randomly falling to the floor. So as you can see, this is it would lower your quality of life. So I went to physical pain therapy doctors. I went to neurologists, multiple, to get different perspectives and opinions about what's happening. And typically it's caused through trauma, but this was apparently caused, might have been caused through stress, but that's another topic for another time. But so essentially, what was to fast forward, the doctors told me that I should really look into having spinal fusion surgery, a spinal fusion operation. So what entails in that is they take the part of your spine that's affected, they remove it, they take an artificial spine, place it in there, and fuse it with your spine. So this was definitely a very risky operation, and I was like, well, that doesn't seem great. So I did some research, independent research, and I looked for other people who had similar symptoms to me. So a majority of people said that they had those symptoms, that they went on a plant-based diet, that they were became vegan, and they were able to walk again without any pain or randomly falling to the floor. So I figured, well, it's either spinal fusion surgery or try to become vegan. And at this point, I had coworkers. I was working as an art director in an advertising agency, and coworkers would call me the meat monger because I ate. Like, if it didn't have meat in it, I wouldn't eat it. It wouldn't be a meal. So trust me, I'm not one of those vegans who are like, oh no, everyone's bad and how dare you eat meat. But I remember, I was a person who ate meat all the time, but I was just not aware, or I didn't really let it sink in the gravity of my choices. So I was like, all right, well, let me try this plant-based diet and see how if it works. Might as well, it's either that or get this operation done in my spine. So lo and behold, a few weeks later, I was able to walk again without any sharp shooting pains, and I didn't fall randomly to the floor anymore. So, so that definitely piqued my interest. I was like, oh, so there's something here. There's some healing abilities with a plant-based diet, or actually avoiding diseases or negative effects from anything animal-based. So nothing that was alive, or nothing that came from anything that was alive. And then after that, I had to move. Since I couldn't work, I guess I was laid off of my job, and because the company was downsizing, and eventually the agency closed, and I ended up spending like over $25,000 just to like survive, and I was denied disability when I wasn't well, so I had to use all the money in my savings to survive and stay in my home, and so eventually my money ran out, and I had to move back with my mother. So in that, they're cooking all the time, and at that point I wasn't vegan. It was more like a plant-based diet. I didn't make the ethical connection, so I ended up eating meat again, and then lo and behold, the situation came back where I couldn't walk. And then I was like, okay, well, obviously this is a sign. I have to listen to my body saying that it doesn't agree with that, with meat. So I stopped doing that for a long time, and then for years after that, I would once in a while eat meat. And so then I think last year, in November 2015, is when I made the ethical connection, where so for me, the way that I like to approach it or express it to other people is that also the difference between the plant-based diet and veganism are two different things. Plant-based diet is you're just changing your diet to avoid eating meat or dairy, and veganism is where you choose not to invest in any products that exploit animals. So there's makeup products that use makeup products, cleaning products, clothing. I have a leather jacket that I don't use anymore because I just that's a different thing. Like if you, I don't know, everyone has a different option or opinion on that, but it's your very conscious decisions to not pay money for products that exploit or harm animals, because in doing so, you're voting for those industries to continue to do that. So, and then the way I try to also appeal to people is that to appeal to their logic, and the reason is that if you have an animal, or if you've ever had a child or a nephew or other loved ones, you understand the range of sentience that they have. Sentience is feeling, right? So you understand pain, you understand your surroundings, you can see things objectively. So there's nothing different from a child or a dog or a pig or a cow. They all feel, they all think. So in general, we shouldn't have to kill any sentient beings if we have an option not to. So then when you break it down, it's like, all right, well, can we survive and be healthy and thrive, optimizing our body without the death and slaughter and rape of innocent sentient beings? And the answer to that is yes. Because you're like, oh, well, where do I get my calcium from? Vegetables and fruits have calcium. Where do I get my protein from? Fruits and vegetables have protein in them. So when you really like let that sink in, like you remove the conditioning that, oh, the only way to get protein and calcium is through animal products, but that's not the truth. And I encourage everyone to do your own independent research and find it, on your own accord. So when you think about it, it's like, oh, so I can, and also you avoid heart disease, multiple diseases, some of the top deaths of humanity, the top terminal illnesses and lethal illnesses caused to humanity is foods that are animal based. And if you remove animal products, you in turn become healthier, you live longer, you have a higher quality of life, you don't invest into the torture, slaughter, enslavement, and rape of animals. And when I say rape of animals, because cows, even with dairy, right? Like cows only produce milk because when they're pregnant, and obviously after that they can also produce milk for a limited amount of time, but they are physically raped and artificially inseminated. So just to give you an idea of that. So even in dairy, you're kind of investing, you're voting for this process to continue. And even if you feel like, oh, this is grass-fed beef, it was a quick death. In general, a general rule is nothing that is sentient should be killed if it can be avoided. So since we live in a society where we have the option we have the power of the internet at our fingertips, and I feel like it's important for everyone to educate themselves into the facts and not just let the conditioning and propaganda, overtake your logic and your reasoning. And I feel everyone has this innate, deep sensation that they know that eating meat is wrong. And that's why I think a lot of times when vegans kind of try to force that opinion, people feel guilty because they know deep down that the death of another sentient being is what is on their plate. Like that's what's happening. And I feel like people like to thrash out, and that's how they kind of do a transference of the guilt that they feel. And I just try to appeal to everyone. I'm not trying to come from a moral high ground. I'm not trying to say I'm better than anybody else. I understand. I ate meat. Every vegan, mostly every vegan has eaten meat before. So my approach is different. I don't like to force things down people's throat. I just like to educate, and I encourage everyone to be more insightful, because buying meat products and dairy products, you are voting, you are investing into animal agriculture, which harms other sentient beings, which harms your body, which also damages the environment. And climate change is very real for those of you who don't believe it. 97% of scientists all agree that climate change is real, and it's occurring because of what we are doing as human beings. So that is my little spiel on on the importance of veganism, and not only is it beneficial to us, but it's beneficial to all Earthlings. Everyone on this planet, we inhabit this planet together. I think everybody feels like we're separated and you have to protect your own, and it's like, why choose animal rights over human rights? But that's not the sentiment. The sentiment is that we're all on this earth together, and it's Earthling rights. It's making sure that the planet doesn't have detrimental issues, and the survival of humanity is based on that. So when you really think about it, it's not just, oh, I want to be vegan to be on a moral high ground. I want to be a better person, and I want to make sure that I'm doing my part to be my highest self and to do what I feel is right. And if people don't feel like, incentivized or inspired to become vegan, there's nothing you can do. Either you want to do it or you don't want to do it. So you can't force someone to do it, I believe. Everyone has their own strategy. But I personally just want to say, if you ever thought about adopting like a vegan lifestyle and have any questions, and feel free to reach out to me, and I will gladly help. I understand what it's like when I was first started to become vegan. I didn't know what to eat. I wasn't sure what was going to happen. Am I going to get enough protein? Am I going to get enough? Am I going to be healthy? Am I going to be skinny? I was like, obviously, I'm not a very skinny person. So I'm doing very well. This is, I've been vegan for about a year now, and it's been amazing. Like, I don't need to use my glasses anymore, which is strange. No one ever told me that was kind of a side effect, but probably it's personal. And I was able to lose a lot of body weight. That in conjunction with exercise, of course. And because you can be an unhealthy vegan. Oreos are vegan, But yeah, I just felt like I should share this story with you guys and share these insights to see if maybe it would appeal to you and it would resonate with you. And hopefully today, for World Vegan Day, you would consider trying a vegan diet and or vegan lifestyle, plant-based diet. For me, I'd say I like to propose a challenge to try to do this for 7 days, just so you can feel firsthand experience what it's like, what physiological changes your body goes through. And it's been great for me because my carpal tunnel syndrome has gone down. I walk fine, I exercise, I walk every day, especially since I was at a point where I couldn't walk, and now I'm grateful for the fact that I can walk and that I can exercise. So I feel because it made such a huge impact in my life in a positive way, I'm not depressed anymore like that. Like, of course you get depressed because of events that occur, but overall I have a much more positive outlook on life, and I directly correlate that with vegan lifestyle. So if anything, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask, and I encourage you once again to do your own independent research, and that's about it. So I just wanted to wish everyone a very happy World Vegan Day, and I really hope that you guys decide to at least look into why this is good, why all the positive aspects of this, and hopefully this motivates and inspires other people to live their highest lives. Peace, love, and I wish everyone much success and happiness.